So I thought this might make for a fun video. This is a Sympodium MP250 mobile presentation cart, and I've repurposed it as kind of I guess some people would call it a crash cart in the tech industry, but I'm using it for testing equipment, and it's kind of nice because it's on wheels. If I need to do something in a different part of the building, I can take it with me, although basically lives right here. um, so it has some interesting features. It has a built-in KVM over here with, I guess, I forget if that's an input also. At least 3 inputs. I think it's 4. I forget what the USB one does, but yeah, with 4 inputs. And there's some cables that I've run through the top, addition to the ones that are already part of the setup. Like these are the gosh, I don't remember now. I don't really use some of this functionality like it's intended to. I believe this is for the laptop input. Also, the display does have a Wacom stylus and touchscreen built in, or well, not touchscreen, but Wacom tablet functionality basically. I don't use it because it's terrible. It's not very accurate compared to other stuff I'm used to. But yeah, I got some network cables running through and a serial cable for when I'm working on stuff with serial ports. Then just, your standard keyboard and mouse. This does have some built-in speakers. I'm just going to play one of my own videos since I don't want to worry about copyrighted music. Pause in front. Oh, you can barely see the tail. So that's kind of a nice feature. I will use this as a background music too, which is kind of fun. But inside's where all the interesting stuff is. Even though it's a little underutilized right now. Got some storage here. This is various SFP and other modules. Some fiber optic cables, serial cables, miscellaneous. This is the brains of the smart podium thing. It has all the KVM switching and amplifier and stuff. Then I've added all this other lower stuff. It's just a power strip basically with some lights, which is handy. I don't really use it that often, but if I need to, it's there. Plus it's easy to turn off everything. This is my master power switch. And then these eliminator lighting power strips are really handy. So I have ability to control stuff. This is the Dell switch. These two are for the Juniper switches down below. That's my thin client. That's an external cord. The 3 here are currently unused because I don't really need them. And then this is an HP T630 thin client, if I remember correctly. It has 8 gigs of RAM in it, and then a 32 gig mSATA SSD, which sadly is not big enough for Windows 10, but I just put up with it crying about wanting to do updates when it can't. And you'll see this horrible tape job here. There's some wireless antennas I added to it. I didn't want to spend money on the wireless kit, so I just yanked off some wireless antennas off a desktop I was recycling and put a wireless card in there, figuring, what the heck. This setup here, these 2 Juniper switches, were originally so I could test the expansion modules. But once I realized that they really don't fail, I just started pulling them out of switches and selling them, and I haven't had a single complaint. So I don't know what the purpose of these are going to be in the long term because they're kind of noisy and they're not really useful. I should probably pull them out of here and sell the useful bits and scrap the rest. I could put some different switches here. What I'd really like to find is something with 10 gig ports that I don't feel compelled to sell. I kind of hate holding on to stuff if I don't use it actively. Like I have probably only powered these on 2 or 3 times since I've put them in this rack. And then these do have the serial cables pre-attached because it's on the back side of the switch and it's hard to get to. One thing I would be tempted to do is if I could find a nice motherboard that's somewhat low power and I could put that in a rack mount case and put that in here and then use that instead of thin client. But I kind of want to run this with the doors closed because otherwise you end up bumping them or they get in the way. And there's not really enough consideration for ventilation in this to put in a proper computer, in my opinion. I could just use a broken laptop with a messed up display and put that on this rack shelf instead, but it's hard to find laptops with serial ports, and I don't like the USB serial adapters just because they're a pain. But yeah, this has a few handy features. I don't remember. There's some stuff I haven't used in a while. I think I need to plug that back into the switch because that goes up to the top. But yeah, I don't know. These have more life in them beyond their intended use. A person could make a really nice mobile AV card out of this for their home if they wanted to have something to use in the garage, project the game on the big screen or garage door or sheet, and watch a football game in your garage, but then not have this in the way. But I really like using it for testing networking equipment. I can put a lot of weight on here without having to worry about anything. And I even put a little too much weight on this. So hopefully that's interesting. Thanks for watching.